Lyon, Paris, Nasta, the Legion is our fatherland. Honor, it fidelity, honor and fertility, honor and fidelity, sorry. Marchi, one clavi, march or die. The French Foreign Legion. The French Foreign Legion was created by Louis Philippe, the King of France, on March 10, 1831, from the foreign regiments of the Kingdom of France. Recruitment included soldiers from the recently disbanded Swiss and German foreign regiments of the Bourbon monarchy. The Royal Ardennes, from the establishment of the two new regiments specified from that foreigners recruited only to be serving outside of France. The French Expeditionary Force had occupied the Algiers in 1830, was in the need of reinforcements, and the Legion was accordingly transferred by sea in detachments on Toulon in Algeria. The French Foreign Legion was primarily used as a part of the Armée d'Afrique to protect and expand the French colonial empire, especially in Afrique, during the 19th century. But it was only fought in, but it has also fought in mostly all French wars, including the Franco-Prussian War, World War One, World War Two, and the Algerian Civil War, and many other colonial scrambles after World War Two. The Foreign Legion has remained an important part of the French army and sea transport protected by the French Navy, serving three republics, the Second French Empire, two world wars, the rise and fall of manuscript armies, and the dismantling of the French colonial empire, and the loss of the Foreign Legion's base in Algeria. The annexation of Alsace and Lorraine by Germany in 1871 led to numerous volunteers from two regions enlisting in the French Foreign Legion, which gave them the option of French citizenship at the end of their service. With the declaration of war on June the 29th, 1914, a call was made by the foreigners residents in France to support their adopted country. While many would have preferred direct enlistment to the regular French army, the only option immediately available was that of the French Foreign Legion. On one day only, the 3rd of August 1914, a reported 8,000 volunteers applied and enlisted for the Paris recruiting office for the Legion. In World War I, the Legionnaires fought in critical battles on the Western Front, including Arthas, Champagne, the Somme, Arsine, and Verdun in 1917 and 1916. They had also suffered a lot of heavy casualties during 1918. The French Legion was in the Dardanelles and the Macedonian front and was highly decorated for its efforts. They were marked with differences between the idealist volunteers of 1914 and the hardened men of the old Legion, making assimilation difficult. Nevertheless, the old and the new men of the Foreign Legion fought and died in vicious battles on the Western Front, including Belion et Disserit during the Battle of the Somme, where the poet Alain Serge, after being mortally wounded by machine gun fire, cheered on the rest of his advancing battalion. The French Foreign Legion was mostly foreigners, but the most prolific foreigners of the French Foreign Legion was that of the Americans before 1917, the Lafayette Escadrille, the Black Noir regiments of the French army before and even during before Americans came to the war. So we're going to dive into that very quickly. So most American war activities in France preceded the US entry into war began at the American Hospital in Noir-sur-Seine, Ralliance Center, where the Americans negotiated with the French military to have an ambulance unit service closer to the lines of the battle. These units subsequently became known as the American Ambulance Field Service. They went on to participate in every major French battle from the French armies, and 2,500 Americans volunteered, carrying munitions and supplies, as well as more than 500,000 being wounded. Members of the Section of 18th and Section 4 received the Croix de Guerre of recognition for their service in Verdun. In addition to 100 American youths already in France, the service attached and recruited volunteers from their prestigious American colleges and universities as well. Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Cornell, and many other colleges contributed to the large number of men and vehicles. Letters and articles written by volunteers played an important role in the influenced public opinions on the US into taking the side of the Allies. A remarkable number of well-known authors were ambulance drivers during World War I, including Ernest Hemingway, E. E. Cummings, John de Passy, and Dashiell Hammett. An early appeal of the field service from volunteers began with the words of the French General Joffre. The United States of America has not forgotten the first pages of their history was written by a little of the blood of the French, or France, which is true, because France did help them in the Revolutionary War, so Lafayette returned the favour. So now, besides America, I would like to include a couple of other foreigners from the French Foreign Legion. James Weldon, Joseph Chedibrec, Cesar Maiwong, Peter I of Serbia, Zainul Peskov, and Susan Travis. So James Weldon was from New Zealand, Joseph Cesarek was from Czechoslovakia within the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Joseph Maiwong was from Cambodia, which was all of Indochina. Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos was in French Indochina at the time. Peter I was from Serbia, which led his army into the Albanian mountains and then came back out victorious. And Zainul Penkov was from a Russian that went to the French Foreign Legion, because it was kind of a back and forth thing. Belgium sent some to Russia, Russia sent some to the Western Front, to the Macedonian Front, to the Gallipoli Front. They were all crisscrossing around, so the Eastern Front was mainly Russia and Germany, but they had some regiments of Russians and stuff on the Western Front, and vice versa. So Zainul Penkov was part of the French Foreign Legion, and Susan Travis was actually an English woman, and her military service was actually around World War II, fighting with the Free French. So she's not really a World War I character per se, but you know, for the sake of diversity, because I mean, we have James Weldon from New Zealand, Joseph Cedric from Czechoslovakia, which is now the Czech Republic, Mi Wong from Cambodia, Peter I from Siberia, and Penkov from Russia. So I mean, of course, you got to round it out with an English woman, because diversity. So that is pretty much the French Foreign Legion. I would try to do some. Of course, you're gonna see Zainul Penkov. That's why I put them there, because the Russians are coming, and also Peter I, because Serbia could squeeze in there a bit, the Serbian expeditionary force in Russia, and that's pretty much it. So the French Foreign Legion, that's pretty much it. Learn something.